this is Michael. I live in Australia and I'm an old fella and I've lived an extraordinary life. And I've come to know things through my life simply by experience and being very, very careful not to believe everything that I see and everything that I hear. There's always some things that are deceiving. And so my inscription in all my commercial and private communications is things are not always what they seem. So I have had a big experience, especially recently, but over a period of about 35 years. And I have found that this verse in the Bible that says, he who has much more will be given, and he who has little, even that little bit will be taken away. I've always been a little bit confused about that, but I've come to realise only through my own actions and displaying my thoughts, my mind, my wisdom according to what God gives me rather than from another book. And I found because what is written in a book is only that coming from another person, and we don't know what that person is or who he is or what he's like or where he comes from. And yet because the words seem pretty, we listen to it and we believe it. For some reason we believe what comes in a book. We believe what is written. But if you get that same person, put him right in front of you and you don't like the look of him, you're not going to believe a word of it. But if you don't see him, and you don't know what he looks like, you don't know where he comes from, and the words sound pretty, you're going to believe it. Unfortunately, that's the nature of man. Now, a lot of people will look at me, as they have in the past, as many people have said to me, "Oh, Mike, you are smarter than what you look." They don't mean to say it, but it comes out and straight away they go, oh, I didn't mean it that way, but I know exactly what they mean, because I don't look smart. I look like, well, my ex-wife used to say I look like a Muslim. That's not to say that Muslims aren't smart. They're very smart. They're smarter than the average, I tell you, because they know how to do what they do and make billions and billions of dollars through terror. It's amazing. Look at the money they accumulate through terror. Anyway, that's another subject. Moving right along, I have learnt what I know today through experience, and I just decided, especially this day, as I found out I only have a certain amount of time left here, that maybe I better knuckle down and just maybe leave some legacy, some spiritual legacy, not a monetary one, but a spiritual legacy, for those who want to open their minds and their hearts and have a listen and then pray. The most important part, whenever you hear anybody speak or you read anything, you always ask God to give you the discernment for it, because if you don't, he won't. You got to do what you got to do, and God's got to do what he's got to do. If you don't ask him, that means you ignore him. You must ask every and each time, Lord, my God, please, in the name of truth, give me the discernment to know whether this is right or wrong. It's that simple. And if you're going to be given some truth, and then later on you meet your Lord and Saviour, whether that be Christ or whoever it is, and he says to you, I don't know you, and you say, why? Because you did this. And I say, well, yeah, but I trusted you to give it to me. You see what I mean? You can't do that. God can't say, trust in me and believe in me, and when you do, you fail, and God says you fail because you're stupid. No, God can't do that. If you believe in God, and God says trust in me, and you do trust in him, and you ask and trust, he has to give. If he doesn't, he's not a God of his word. Think about that. Anyway, that's my introduction. I hope that somebody, someday, can get something out of my video channel, which I've just started today, and I'm learning about it, so my first videos will be pretty poor, but hopefully through God's grace and mercy they will improve. Thank you for listening.